behind a 1-0 deficit. Ricky goes, a pitch taken, he's going to have it. He does. Ricky Henderson, no contest, steals third base, jerks the bag from its moorings, and holds it aloft, representing number 939.
But now looking into Buster Posey. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On the ground, Arias from deep third, got him! And that's a perfect game. And the Giants mobbing Matt Cain on the pitcher's mound.
Swung on and hammered, high, deep to left, away, out of here.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Taps and Jacks. I am your host, Jordan Stacks on Stacks Lads. Joined as always with my guy, Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson.
Sir,
How we doing tonight, Ben?
can't complain, man. Been a good weekend. Got the week coming up, but what does this week start with? Baseball.
Yes.
We got our first regular season games, which I'm so excited about. Not gonna be able to watch them, but hey, season is starting, and that makes me happy. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
It's a big day for you.
Yeah, man. Just finished a 3-hour college basketball show, and now we're here. So, but that's March, man. That's March.
There we go.
We sleep in May, but for me, we don't sleep in May because we just roll right into baseball. So,
Here we go.
it is what it is. What are you sipping on over there?
Oh, that was sour. So I'm drinking a sour tonight. So this is one that, when they first came out, we both jumped on these, and this is the Artisanal Brew Works. This is the Warheads Extreme Sour.
Yeah.
This is a smash up though. So this is orange and pineapple mixed together. Absolutely loved the first round that they did, which were the original Warhead flavors. So I'm excited about this one. It's a 5% sour coming out of Saratoga Springs, New York. Love Warheads, love beer. So they're saying that this goes from sour to sweet, and man, I took that first sip and it made me pucker.
Damn, what that's a lemon one you said?
No, it's orange pineapple.
Orange pineapple.
Yeah, so it's a smash up as they call it. The first ones were what? Strawberry, cherry, lemon, and blueberry.
Yeah, like they did their original flavors on the first ones.
Yep.
Nice, man.
And they had a ton of different smash up ones. So I might get another one later in the summer when it's nice to have a light cold beer.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's coming up, dude.
Yep.
It's coming. The time is coming up. Yeah, man. So we're we're obviously spring training is definitely winding down. We did all of our preview shows. For anyone that missed any of the preview shows, just go search Taproom Sports Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast fix, and every division breakdown is in there. So tonight we're gonna do a little bit of preview for the first opening day game, which is gonna be in Japan with the Cubs and Dodgers on Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific. So we'll do that, and then we'll talk about some stuff going on in spring training. A lot of teams rounding out their rosters now. Getting their projected starting rotations in order and whatnot. So yeah, man. And I guess we'll open up with Royce Lewis, who strained his hamstring today, Ben, after running to first base. This is the second time now he's strained his hamstring running the bases. First time he did it last year, opening day, after he hit a home run.
Game 1, yeah.
So
yeah.
But I mean, that's a main cog in the Twins lineup.
How do you pull your hamstring when you're running on a home run trot? Like, you're not even You're not even running hard and you pull a hammy. Like that's got to be the worst luck ever.
I mean, unfortunately for him, I think
But
it's a lot of genetics, dude.
yeah, and it could have been in the swing where he actually pulled it and like it just finally hit him while he started to run. So,
Yeah, but usually when you have like
but
soft
man,
tissues, when you have consistent soft tissue injuries like that, it's usually just genetics. Like there's nothing you can do. You can do.
yeah,
Unfortunately, like you're just, you know, brittle.
yeah. But what does that put him out? Like at least 4 weeks, I'd want to say.
Last time it knocked him out for like 3 months.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
mean,
Super unfortunate for the Twins.
yeah, I mean it's terrible. I mean it's terrible for him too because he's a hella good player,
Yeah,
but he's gonna be one of those players that we just always think of like, what if he could,
yep,
what if he could ever stay healthy? And it's unfortunate, but I mean the Twins do have depth, so they have Edward Julian and Jose Miranda that can fill in there. Obviously, neither of those guys are, um, Royce Lewis's caliber, but it's not the end of the
yep,
world at the end of the day. But huge blow for the Twins, man. Huge blow for the Twins.
yeah. And they didn't have that great of a spring training, so that does definitely worry any Twins fans out there because one of your guys that was your top player is now out and you're struggling through spring training. They lost what 12-1 today.
Yeah, I don't.
You
With
know,
spring training though, it's tough to take a lot of like the results like that.
yeah, yeah,
You,
but you want to see your team putting up runs. It's like you want to see those those hits, those timely hits. You want to see the mechanics of turning two, of your pitcher getting in into the motions. And that obviously didn't happen in any facet today if you're only putting up one run and your pitching staff allows 11.
yeah, but
Oh, sorry, 12.
I will say in like as far as
Oh, wait. Sorry, I must have. Oh no, yeah, I must have clicked the wrong.
they
I
lost
must have
six
clicked
to
the wrong
five
team
today.
because they lost 6-5 today.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, I mean they haven't been good. However, like the end result isn't really what I'm looking for in spring training. It's like individual results because a lot of times what happens is like, they'll put in a pitcher that isn't gonna break spring training, but they just want to like get him working or see what he's doing, and he'll give up runs or even, the other day the Cubs and Dodgers both played in Japan and like they played like most of their prospects that aren't even really gonna play anyways. So
Mhm.
results isn't really necessarily what I'm looking for in spring training. What I will say in spring training is, for established guys, I don't really care what happens. Like they're kind of just there going through the motions and getting into shape or whatever. For young guys that are unproven, I want to see consistent improvement throughout spring, or I want to see them consistently swing the bat good or consistently pitch well. You know what I mean? So those are things that I'm looking for. The end result, wins and losses, I could care less in spring training. A team could
Yeah.
go undefeated in spring training and be dog shit in the regular
Yep.
season.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It was Pablo Lopez today. We were talking about this when the Twins announced their rotation. And how bad Pablo Lopez, you were saying, was having a spring. And today, 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 runs.
yeah,
He did have 8 Ks, but his spring training ERA right now is 7.98.
yeah, and the concerning thing for Pablo Lopez is like he's coming off 2 years where he's declined
Mhm.
from the pitcher that he was, and then he gets in the spring. And I do like the K per nine. Like I do like that his K per nine is 10.38, but he's walking a ton of guys, Ben. He's
Mhm.
walking 7 guys per 9 innings, dude. And that's things that you don't want to see. And then they send down Zebby Matthews and they send down David Festa. And Zebby was having a good spring this year. I thought he was gonna break the major league club. But you
Yeah.
know, it is what it is.
Well, the good thing for Pablo today is he did only have one walk in those 7 innings. So, or sorry, 6 innings. So, you know, that's at least on more of on the positive side. But yeah, I mean,
Zebby Matthews in the spring, Ben, 11.57 K per nine, 0.96 walks per nine, ERA of 0,
wow.
and 9
Wow.
innings pitched.
Yeah, that is shocking to. I mean, are they just trying to save his time?
Maybe. I mean, the rest of their rotation is like veteran guys. And like I was saying in
Mhm.
our group text earlier, like it's only a matter of time till like Chris Paddock gets hurt because he gets hurt every fucking year. But I mean,
Yeah.
at least the good thing for the Twins is that it shows that they have organizational depth in their starting rotation. So even if let's say Pablo gets off to a really slow start and he's struggling, they can like put him on the injured list and he can fucking work through it and they can call up Zebby Matthews.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
they have that option. Yeah, man, I'm excited. Like I was thinking, I saw a picture pop up on my timeline, and it was us last year during spring training at your bachelor party. And I was like, oh shit, because it was
Yep.
exactly a year ago. And I was
Yep,
like,
that was this weekend. Yeah.
and I was like, man, this is baseball's literally right around the corner. Because I remember when we went to that last year, it was like we got back and like it felt like a week later the season started.
Yep.
And then it was your
Yeah,
birthday.
and we will have what, 2 weeks or a week and a half until
Yeah.
the season really does start. I mean, I know we have our first 2 games, overseas, but next Wednesday, I think. Not this one upcoming Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that, I think, is opening day.
Yep. Yep. It's March 20.
Thursday, the 27th.
27th, yeah. It's an earlier start this year than normal.
Yeah, usually it's April 1st.
Yeah.
So March 30th, April 1st. So
it'll be good. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. A lot of our futures that we put in, I feel pretty confident about.
yeah,
I really am starting to feel a lot more confident about the Tigers. I think the Tigers are definitely gonna be one of the better teams in the AL. Red Sox. So yeah, I mean, I'm pumped, dude. I'm pumped. Baseball is literally right around the corner, man. It's here.
yeah.
I'm ready for it.
So with these two games in Japan, like having the Dodgers know that they have to go back and play more spring training games after they're completed here, is that a positive or is that a negative for like the Dodgers and the Cubs?
Well, I would say, the Dodgers had to do this last year, so they're pretty accustomed to it. You know what I mean? The Cubs, I'm not sure because like they haven't had to do it. I would say it benefits the Dodgers more than the Cubs if I had to like choose one or the
Dodgers,
other.
yeah. The thing I wonder is like, is this going to cause problems at the end of the season? Because you're asking your starters to go out and both pitching and fielding to go out there and start this season a week and a half before the actual season starts. So you have an extra week and a half, 2 weeks that your starters are going to be playing, because they're not going to come back and then put your average Joe Schmo out there
No,
to
but I
cold start them.
think they'll be okay. I think they'll be fine.
So that puts an extra 2 weeks on them. Another what, like
I mean, by
7-8 games?
now you're seeing the starting pitchers start to pitch 5-6 innings. Like now, even in spring training, like they're ramping up to get to the start of the season, right? So you're seeing that already. The Dodgers and Cubs both started spring training early as well. Like the pitchers and catchers reported a little bit earlier, knowing that this was going to be the situation. When they come back and they play those spring training games, they'll that's when they're going to tweak their rotation to start for regular opening day. And if that means they have to, have supplemental starters in some games or whatever, that's what they're going to do. But I don't think it affects them for the regular season in any aspect or anything. I think honestly going over there and playing overseas is worse than the break in between.
Yeah. Well, but like are we going to see the pitchers' arms get a little bit more tired when you're going into, a playoff series because they've started, 2 weeks earlier. They didn't get as much rest over the offseason, especially the Dodgers going to the World Series. Not getting that time to rest and recover their arms.
I think when you in the playoffs, regardless, dude, those guys are pretty gassed. But
Yeah.
the Dodgers are. I mean, they've already been talking about they're going to go to a 6-7 man rotation at some point in the season. So,
Mhm.
that to me is more curious than anything, because now you're talking about guys that are basically going to be pitching one day a week, the same day. Most guys are used to a 5-day routine. Like, they're used to pitching every 5th day. So how does that throw them off their routine? Like, that is the more intriguing thing to me than anything that we're going to find out about the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the Dodgers, we talked about this in the pregame. Like, obviously they're the best team on paper, but I mean, they got a lot of old guys, dude. They got a lot of guys getting older. What'd you think about that?
And who have had injuries in the past.
Yeah. What did you think about? Oh, Ben, I wanted to show you this shit because Irv and I talked about it. So someone came out with a list of potential WBC rosters. And the reason why we were talking about Will Smith and Patrick Bailey is because on this list that he sent me, it was Will Smith was the projected catcher, and I was like, I said that lineup's cool, but like why the fuck would they put Will Smith on there? And he's like, well, it's American catchers, and I was like, well, there's like 3 or 4 better American catchers than Will Smith right now in 2025. And he said, who? And I said, Adley, Cal Raleigh, Patrick Bailey. God, I'm trying to find the fucking the one that he's saying. But anyways, I was saying Adley, Cal Raleigh, and Patrick Bailey I would put over Will Smith. Here it is right here. Let me send it to you right now. And then we got in a debate about Adley Rutschman. How do I save this? And then send it to you.
Hold it. I don't know, copy.
There it is right there. All right. So the question I wanted to pose to you is, because I did think it was pretty interesting, because I was saying that if Will Smith was not a Dodger, he would be looked upon differently, because the reason why Will Smith is so elevated in a lot of people's eyes is because of the fact that he's a Los Angeles Dodger. If he was a fucking Rocky, people would be like, oh, he's a good catcher, but he's not one of the best catchers. And so what do you think? Because I think the roster outside of the catcher is, obviously you could like debate a lot of shit. But I mean, like, Bobby Witt for sure, shortstop, second base Mookie, Gunnar third, Kyle Tucker left field, DH Kyle Schwarber, we could probably get someone else. Mike Trout in center field. I don't know if I want Mike Trout playing center field at this age.
I don't think if I'm an Angels player, I don't think I want Mike Trout to be playing any games outside of the Angels either because of his injury history.
Yeah. I mean, you could DH Mike Trout and then put Jackson Merrill at center.
Yeah, I think that would be much better.
But
better. Isn't Jackson Merrill a dual citizen though, and doesn't he play?
No, he's American.
Didn't he say he was going to play with another team?
I mean, if he didn't make the American team, but to my knowledge, he's American. What the fuck? What else is he?
I don't know.
Hey, he's from Baltimore.
I thought I read somewhere that he's got dual citizenship though, through one of his parents. But I could be wrong there. It could have been somebody else.
I know Freddie has dual citizenship.
Yeah.
Because he played for Canada before, I'm pretty sure. But anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the lineup. I think you're right. I think you could probably pop Trout into the DH, and that would be a better option there. Um, and get some younger guys on this team that will push things forward a little bit more. I mean, I guess you do have some young guys there.
Yeah, you got
Bobby
Gunner,
Witt,
Bobby.
Kyle Tucker, Gunner.
If you put Jackson in center, Jackson would be young.
Mhm.
And then like Patrick
And this
Bailey
is also
at catcher.
just the starting rotation too. So
Yeah, the starting line. But my thing with Irv was like, well, Will Smith's a better hitter, and I was like, well, sure, yeah. Patrick Bailey's he's inconsistent at the plate right now, but his WAR is higher, his wins above replacement. So even though he's not as good offensively, his defense is so fucking good that his WAR puts him above Will Smith.
Yep.
And he couldn't comprehend that fact. Like he couldn't comprehend that his defense was so good that it elevated him. And I was like, there's 3 positions in baseball that I would take a excellent elite defensive player for a lesser bat. Center field, shortstop, and catcher.
Third base. What was the second one for you?
Shortstop.
Short? Okay, yeah.
And catcher.
I mean, historically, you want your third baseman to have a bat as well.
Yeah,
but a strong third baseman
it's a benefit
defensively.
But usually you want your corner people those are your boppers. Because the shortstop has to cover the most ground on the infield.
Yeah.
And he has to make the most difficult throws because he has to move, a lot of different ways. Third base, he doesn't cover as much ground, but he needs to have a very strong arm because he has to get it across the diamond.
And quick reaction time.
Yeah. And then, but catcher is the most important position. And I was explaining to him, I was like, dude, look at Jake Rogers, dude. Jake Rogers hit 199 last year. 260 on base, 362 slugging, and yet he started basically every game. Why is that? Because
he's got a hell of an arm and he can stop that ball.
He's elite defensively. Well, and now stealing strikes is important too. So framing is massively important. And that Patrick Bailey is the best framer in baseball, which is why his WAR is so high. So I was explaining to him, I don't need a fucking bopper at catcher, dude. What makes William Contreras a good catcher is the fact that he's so good offensively. It makes up for his lack of defense. But he's really fucking good offensively. I'd rather have a mid offensive catcher that's elite defensively.
Absolutely. And when what you've gotten Will Smith is mid.
Yeah, well, I mean,
maybe just above average offensively.
Yeah, I would say he's above average offensively, but not enough to like last year he was -8 defensive run save. He was terrible defensively. So his bat isn't good enough to offset his lack of defense. If that makes any sense. And I'm not saying Will Smith is a bad player, dude. I'm just saying, and I would say the same thing for Adley. Adley wasn't good defensively last year. And he was bad offensively the second half of the year, but I think he was injured. But it was fascinating. But the WBC is going to be interesting. First of all, the players have to commit to it, and I hope they do.
Yeah,
because the last WBC was great.
Yeah, last WBC was amazing. There was something that I saw too with these 2 games that oh my god, what's the name? What's the city? Hold on. The Hanshin Tigers.
Oh yeah.
Have both beat the Cubs and the Dodgers in their kind of warm-up game to get them ready for these first 2 regular season games. And someone was in the comments was bringing up the point there should be a series after the World Series for a real World Series where it's the best NPB team versus the best MLB team.
Should make it a tournament. Have like the best KBO team, the best MPB team, the best MLB team, and the best Mexican League team.
Yeah, and make like a real like world champion
That would be
instead of
dope.
the World Series being the World Series, but it's only the MLB.
Yeah, that would be dope. I would absolutely be down for that.
That would be a fun thing to see, and bringing in the other leagues as well, and have it be a kind of round robin. Everybody plays everybody.
I mean, there's really only like 4 professional leagues,
Yeah,
and then the Winter League in the Dominican, but that's all MLB players that play
Yeah.
in that. So I mean, you could really only do like the Mexican League, KBO, and Japan. I think there's a Chinese league too, but I don't know how good that league is.
yeah. But do like a best of 3 series, then the winners play each other and the losers play each other for 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, no, that'd be yeah, that'd be fascinating. I'd definitely be into that, dude. That'd be great.
Yeah, it would almost be like the Champions League in for soccer,
For sorry, yeah.
where it's like the best of everybody.
Yeah, they absolutely should fucking do that.
Yeah.
And like you could hold it, you could have like the KBO and the See, but that's the thing is like everybody's if you do it the 4 leagues, you'd have to do like what's the style called, like where they all play each other, round robin, right?
Yeah.
Where they all play each other, and then the 2 teams with the lesser record play for elimination, and then the 2 teams with the
Yeah, then the winner of the winning teams gets a break while 2 and 3 play each other
to face them.
yeah.
So they would have to, but they would have to do it in like one area.
Yeah.
And then it's basically like the start of winter, so you could basically only do it in like LA, San Diego, Miami.
They have domes. They play in domes.
Yeah, I know, but you gotta do it in the States. You can't be doing it in Japan.
Why not?
Because, bro, like we don't. You want to be waking up at 3 a.m. to watch that shit?
Yeah,
There's way
But
more
it's,
people in America than there is in Japan, and
that's not true.
nah, dude, there's way more. We have like 350 million people in the
Yeah,
US.
but fans, I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't.
It would have to change locations every year.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah,
But then you got 2 Asian teams. You
Or-
got 2.
or maybe do it like
America's
this.
teams.
Maybe do it like this. You do it in America the first year. The team that wins that year, the country that wins, you do it in their
Well,
country the
it's
next
gonna
year.
be fucking in America every year.
Yeah. I mean, I just think I think logistically it's better to do it in America.
But you'd have it in the States. You'd have it in Mexico. Then you'd also have it in Korea and Japan. So then, you'd basically only be traveling every other year, because the people in the States would be, have it in the States and then in Mexico. So that's not a big travel for the MLB. And then when it's in either Korea or Japan, then the opposite one of theirs doesn't travel much.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that'd be great.
would have to go, like US, Korea, Mexico, Japan. So every other year is
Actually, what they should do is just play it in Vegas every year when the stadium's built here.
yeah.
That would be ideal. Hella hotels, so you could
Yeah.
accommodate travelers.
Yeah.
Look at me, MLB, hire me right now. Boom. Now that's a great idea though. That is I would love to see that.
Yeah.
The Champions League of Baseball.
Or you could do it like WBC is every year.
Every other year. Every other year.
Every other year. So you could do that. You could do that off year. You could have those tournaments.
Yeah. No, they should do it every year though. They should do that Champions
Yeah, they
League
should do it
every
every-
year.
Yeah.
Get the 4 champions of each league and have a little tournament. It would literally take a
Yeah.
week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
That
well,
that final the like first place and the third place game though, or it shouldn't be a game. It should be like a 3-game series.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you could do it in the elimination sense. So, like, let's say, you play round robin and one team goes 3-0, the other team goes 2-1, and then one of the teams is 0-3, right? They just get eliminated.
Mhm.
And then the team that's like 1-2 and the team that's 2-1, the team that's 1-2 would have to beat them twice, and the team that's 2-1 would only have to beat the other team once. And then you just play a championship game after that.
Yeah. I like a 3-game series though.
Yeah, I just think it would take too long.
Yeah, probably.
You gotta like knock this out in a week, dude. You can't have it drag on for like 2 or 3
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah. Either way, that would be a ton of fun.
Yeah, it would be good. It would be great. It would be really great. Also, Joey Gallo announced he's making the move to pitcher.
I think that's all a fucking joke.
Didn't he make a video, or wasn't he asked a question last year, like, what would you be if you weren't a baseball player? And he's like an insurance agent or something.
Yeah.
It's time, Joey. I mean, the guy just got cut from the White Sox. I mean,
yeah. And I mean, okay, you're gonna be a pitcher. You're gonna be pitching in the fucking like AA.
dude, it's crazy how much he fell off, bro.
Yeah.
There was a time I
Well,
thought
he's pretty old, isn't he?
No. If he's
How old
30,
is
he's
Joey
like
Gallo?
barely 30. Like, dude, the guy at one point, I mean, he was an all-star. He was leading the league in home runs. And then he got to the Yankees and he just fucking fell off a cliff, dude.
He is 31 and a half.
So, I mean, he's like not even that old.
Played 10 years in the majors.
Pretty good career.
I mean, that's a good stint though.
Yeah, that's a good career. But I mean, at one point he was an all-star and it looked like he was going to be like,
2-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glover.
it's crazy, dude. The fall off is insane.
Yeah.
Insane fall off. All right, let's talk about the game 1 on Tuesday. So we have Yoshi versus Shota. They'll both be pitching in their home stadiums. Shota has been struggling in spring training this year, Ben. Whereas Yoshi has been pretty solid. I don't know if anyone really has any lines out, but I will say this. I don't think betting on the Dodgers is going to have a ton of value this year. If they're
No, I was surprised. I was shocked at what the numbers are for the Dodgers right now.
what
It's like 135.
for this game?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was either 135 or 155. One of the two.
so there is a lineup.
Yeah, there is a line.
Let me see. What is the line?
The line is Dodgers minus 146 for game 1, Cubs plus 136. Dodgers minus 1.5 plus 120. Cubs plus 1.5 minus 140. Over under is 8.
Damn, that is pretty. I mean, I know Mookie's not playing.
Yeah, Mookie is out due to illness. And illness is not, something that you really worry about, but he has lost 15 pounds from being sick, which is something to worry about.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Shota is a guy that I'm like looking to fade this year because I do think that he super overperformed last year. So he is a guy that I'm like interested in fading, and like his spring training numbers, like they have kind of, come back to earth. Like last year he had like an insane fucking home run to fly ball ratio, which I just didn't think was going to be sustainable in the long run.
Yeah.
And this year, at least in spring training, it's definitely flipped.
He started 3 games, gone 11 innings, 5.73 ERA, He said 7 walks, 3 home runs against, and only 2 walks.
Shota. Well, yeah,
Wait.
Shota doesn't really walk guys.
Yeah.
And then Yoshi, he hasn't really been. He's been better, but he hasn't been great in spring training either. So there's that.
The Yoshi 4.15 ERA, 4 games, 13 innings. He's had 15 hits against, 6 earned runs, 2 home runs against, and walked 3. Opponent batting average of 288.
Yeah.
So he's only gonna go like 4. Both of these guys are probably only gonna go what, 5 innings?
5 or 6. I think it really depends on the pitch count and stuff. They're not going to stress their arm out for game 1. Last year in the Japan series, we did see, or last year was in Korea, but in the Korean series, we saw a shit ton of runs in the first couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
We could see something very similar in this one. However, I do think that both of these pitching staffs are really fucking good. Bullpen wise. God, game 1, I don't have any interest in backing Shota. The Cubs, they're gonna split this series. Both teams are gonna win a game in this series, for
You
sure.
think so?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a split series. I think the Dodgers win game 1 and the Cubs win game 2.
Okay. Game 2, we'll talk about this on Tuesday. But game 2 is Sasaki versus Steele. 2 lefties going for the Cubs.
Yep.
Let's see. Dodgers minus 151, Cubs plus 141. Minus 1.5 is plus 100 for the Dodgers, and plus 1.5 is minus 120. Over under is 8.5.
Yeah.
Team total is 4.5, 3.5 for both games. Dodgers with the 4.5.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers lineup is more susceptible to lefties. They struggled at time against lefties for a majority of last year. If you could call it struggling, like they're definitely worse against lefties than they are righties. Because they do have a lot of lefties: Shohei, Freddie, Muncy, Conforto. Although Conforto probably won't play against lefties, we'll probably see Kike in against lefties. But then you also have like Outman, and then Edman he's much better from the left side as a hitter than he is the right side. So I do think that throwing lefties does benefit the Cubs here. It's just tough to play fucking overs against both these teams because they both have fucking good bullpens, dude. Like first game, I definitely would take Dodgers.
I think Dodgers is the play there, and even at 146, I don't hate the minus 1.5 at plus 120, but like you said, this could be a low scoring game.
Yeah. Like last year, we saw a ton of runs in the first 2 games. This one, we probably wouldn't shock me if we don't see that many runs. If it's way lower scoring.
Both teams put up 0 runs against the Tigers. And again, I know that's NPB, but it's and it's so early. It's tough to know how these pitchers are going to show up in a regular season game.
Yep.
I wish we had starting lineups. The good thing with Tuesday is we will have a starting lineup to see who's actually playing. I'm guessing we're going to see our normal team.
Yeah, you'll definitely see normal. I'm interested to see the lineup because I do think the Dodgers are gonna platoon like 2 positions this year. So I am interested to see how their lineup is gonna look on opening day.
Are we gonna have Chris Taylor playing short?
You could without Mookie, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a massive downgrade.
yeah, absolutely.
But I still like the Dodgers in game 1.
Yeah,
Will be interesting. We'll talk.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot easier to talk about the game on Tuesday because we'll have lineups pretty much out by Tuesday. So when we do our show on Tuesday, so it'll be a lot easier because we don't even know who they're gonna be fucking playing right now. It's like,
yeah. I mean, you can imagine it's gonna be, your normal lineups of it's kind of the projected starting lineups, but versus right here, let me see, versus left-handed pitching here. Oh, why won't Fangraphs go to a projected starting lineup against left-handed pitchers?
because they haven't, they still have like their rosters haven't been trimmed yet.
And it's like, is Matt Shaw gonna be back?
Yeah, Shaw is definitely gonna be playing. He's fucking raking right now.
Okay.
He's definitely making the major league roster. I would be absolutely shocked if he doesn't make the major league roster. And the fact they brought him to Japan tells me he's gonna
Yeah.
make the major league roster. So we'll see.
And I mean, just looking at it, even with Mookie out, the Dodgers have a better starting lineup.
I don't know. The Cubs got a nice lineup too.
The Cubs do, but I still think there's places where you struggle. Thinking Birdie, Amaya, maybe Bush. They're all just a step lower than what we're seeing on the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Because that lineup is just stacked.
Yeah. How was that beer, Ben?
It was good. I like it better than the originals, to be honest.
Interesting.
It does have a good balance between the pineapple and the orange. 5%, you can drink it very easily. And it is that sour to sweet. So they really do a good job of like those first initial like 3 sips. It's very like pucker. But then your taste buds get used to it, and it is just a really good kind of. It's not sweet in the sense of like, oh God, this would be disgusting warm.
Yeah.
But it's just like it doesn't hit those, that pucker in the end. So it becomes much more drinkable as you get a few sips into it. So I really like this one. I think the orange and pineapple go great together. They do have a couple other of the smash ups. Hold on, let me pull that back up. They have mango melon, strawberry grape, cherry lime. So I'm gonna try to find that cherry lime. Mango melon, I'm not a big fake watermelon guy, and I cannot stand grape. So I don't know how that strawberry grape would be. But that cherry lime should be quality. So I'll go look for that. But out of sours, this is really drinkable. Great taste, gets that pucker. So I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5.
Nice. Fucking
It
love
is
that.
definitely a manufactured flavor, though.
Like a
We'll say
very what's it called? Very artificial.
Yeah,
That's sort of
like
artificial.
those ones that we got, those berry ones that we got from that other New York brewery. God, I can't think of the name right now, but we used to get them when we had those beer boxes, and those were some of the best sours I've ever had in my life.
What Which one was it?
You used to get them at Tenaya out there too.
Oh, Evil Twin.
Was it Evil Twin? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, those were incredible.
Yeah, they had some.
And that was like a real fruit flavor to it. This is definitely that kind of manufactured, so artificial, but it's good.
Yeah. Yep. That's Altamont, right? That does the sour ones.
What's that?
Altamont does the sour warhead ones.
No, artisanal.
Artisanal. That's right.
Yep, they're out in New York too.
Thank you everybody for joining us. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at taproom_sports. Follow us on Instagram at tapsnjacks. Tapsnjacks on Instagram. If you missed any of the show or you want to catch up on all the division previews, you can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast fix. For Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson, Jordan Stacks on Stacks on Stacks, lads. We'll catch y'all on Tuesday night. And then we got baseball. Let's go.
Can't wait. Later.